Welcome everybody to another episode of Beer, Pizza and a Movie.
Hello.
Where this episode,
that's what they're called.
we have done Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah. So Ross, what do you think?
I love Terminator so much.
It's good, isn't it?
It's really, really good. I kind of don't know what to say about Terminator, which won't also encompass Terminator 2 and give me nothing to say in our next podcast. For those of you who are wondering, Alien is the other. Alien and Aliens is the other two movies which are ruined by their subsequent sequels, but Terminator 1 and 2 are also ruined by their subsequent sequels. Yeah. But Terminator is just generally really good. I've not seen it in so long, and I've just been experiencing how terrifying aspects of it are and how amazing the story is and the character beats and stuff. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I forgot how good it was.
Yeah, just quickly, my headphones aren't working, so are we sure this is all gonna...
I don't know.
Do you reckon this is working? It looks like it's working on the screen.
It looks like it's recording.
Let's keep going.
Let's just plough ahead.
If the levels are off, then it's probably Ross's fault.
Professional podcaster.
Yeah.
What did you think of Terminator?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, and so yeah, it was nice to watch it and compare it to. It seems to be our theme for the day is comparing special effects.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the special effects in this were, well,
hit and miss.
Hit and miss, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, some elements where you're just thinking, oh, that's quite clearly a mannequin head.
Yes.
Which Arnie is poking with a scalpel.
But then other times when it was a mannequin head, it looked absolutely fine.
And other times when it was Arnie's actual face with more complicated prosthetics than the mannequin head had.
Yeah, there were. I think it was the first time we saw him. I said, "Well, that looks like CGI."
Yeah,
and it's not. Like that's
him.
That's actually Arnie just in the
Arnie's
80s.
Shiny naked 80s body, which doesn't look real.
Which is a massive thumbs up to 2016 CGI.
Oh, well, there is that.
Because if you go to Terminator Genesis and you look at the recreation they've done, which is a CGI recreation, it's not the same shots because they don't have the rights to it for some weird reason.
They have the rights to copy it, but not to use it even slightly.
But yeah, and it looks identical in the 2016 one, which is just brilliant.
Yeah, that's true. However, Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale was real awful.
Yes.
However, we did learn
that was in a period where where people were still thinking they can CGI everything, and I got to the point where we can CGI people now. We won't even need actors in 5 years.
No, you can't. Yeah, I mean, voice actors are amazing, but CGIing someone and then having a voice actor is not the same thing as having an actor.
No, but there were some really great dubbing bits in here where Arnie was doing other voices.
Oh, that was good. Yeah,
and it was seamless.
It looked pretty flawless, yeah.
Yeah, I love it when they do that.
I do think that there is a possible explanation for Terminator Salvation's rubber-skinned Arnies.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Reese explains in this one that the earlier models of the Terminator had rubber skin.
Yes.
So maybe the ones that looked like Arnie in Salvation were just the rubber-skinned ones, and that's why they look like that. No, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Because Sam Worthington in that movie was the first Terminator ever who was somehow the best. First Terminator ever who was technologically way beyond any Terminator we've ever seen, including the futuristic ones from Terminator 3. Yeah. He was...
What was with him?
Not only did...
Okay, stop. Look, we're not here to talk about the bad sequels. We're here to talk about the movies preceding those bad sequels.
But we can talk about how the bad sequels retroactively ruined the first ones. And I think this one, not just because the bad sequels are bad, the bad sequels added plot points which made parts of the originals make no sense.
Well, they didn't. The latest one, Genesis, it changed things. It didn't
explain why.
Well, it did.
Because the Terminator went back in time to a different time and protected Sarah Connor when she was a kid. But that didn't happen.
No, but because the timeline changed many times. Like in Terminator 2, which we will be seeing tomorrow, they change when Judgment Day happens.
That's true, but they don't.
And then they do that again in Terminator 3. So the whole timeline is a bit off there.
But
and the Terminators gain intel. They do say this. The Terminators gain intel that these time travel shenanigans have been happening, and so well, we need to go back further.
Questionable. It
is questionable. I shouldn't really be sticking up for it that much.
Yeah, don't stick up for
as much as I enjoy it as a film, it's not a film that needed to be made.
It's a series of good interconnected scenes, like a lot of films, which make for horrible film.
Not even that much of that, really.
Well, the first 20 minutes were quite good.
Yeah, a lot of it was quite good.
Yeah. After that, it just went bananas. Yeah.
It's worse than both the Matrix sequels.
Ooh, that's a pretty ballsy claim.
But my opinion on the Matrix sequels is different to yours.
That's true. I think they're pretty awful. But I do think that Emilia Clarke did an amazing job of being Sarah Connor.
Oh, yeah.
That was one good thing.
Yeah, whereas, what's his name? Captain Boomerang did not.
He didn't. Jai Courtney.
Courtney.
Bad choice. Speaking of people who played Kyle Reese, 3 people from the movie Aliens were in this movie.
Yes.
I can't. We asked
Twitter followers. Can you name them?
Yeah, good point. Because I can only remember the name. I only know the actor name for one of them. I've got a guess for the actor name for the other one, and I have no idea who the third one was actor-wise. But I just recognised who he was.
Yes.
I was rather hoping that Terminator would pull his head off and milk would explode out of the like, oh, you're a robot too!
What, because then it's all one interconnected universe?
It's all one interconnected universe!
Along with the Predator universe.
Oh, God!
Also with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Don't you look a lot like that guy who shut up that police station in 1984? The robot thing? Yeah, I do look a bit like him, but that's a different guy. Cause
he copied me.
Yeah, what Skynet did was it looked back in time for the most amazing bit of physical competence that was ever done, and they realized that human who fought that alien in the jungle was probably the best human ever, so they made all the Terminators look like that guy. And that is the story of why Terminators look like that guy.
So, we did find a continuity issue from the sequels.
I can't remember what that was.
Where not all Terminators look like Arnie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, in the sequels, we find out that all Terminators look like Arnie.
Yeah.
And in this movie, we find out that, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, sequels. You ruined the original movie.
Hence the theme.
But in a different way to just being bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's a shame. I noticed a couple of continuity errors within this movie, which I thought were quite funny to spot.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, we saw a stunt driver's head for a good 5 seconds, I think, at one point.
Exaggeration, but okay.
Long enough. And we also see the great scene where the Terminator cuts his own eye out as a way of kind of doing a self-repair job.
Oh, yeah.
Then puts on some sunglasses to disguise it. And then later on, you see a nice close-up of his face where you can see right through the sunglasses to Arnold Schwarzenegger's own actual 2 eyes, neither of which is a robot eye.
But then he said, "I'll be back." And so
and we
kind of
forget that
out,
moment because of how awesome that line was.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I saw a metal rope towing that lorry at the end.
Oh, really? I didn't spot that.
I don't know why. I don't know why that would be there, because the lorry was being driven for the rest of it, and just drive it a little bit more.
Yeah,
maybe the driver was off sick and nobody else was qualified.
Yeah, and they tried to get Michael Bain to do it, and he said, no, I don't look right for the role of a driver. That's why you couldn't use me earlier on as myself in that parking lot. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. We got that other guy who looks nothing like you to be in it for a long time. Could they not have done that shot from the side or the back? There were loads of shots from the side and from the back.
Yeah, I just left it in by accident.
I find it hard to believe that you leave things in by accident in editing.
The Matrix did it.
Oh, yeah, they had the camera in the doorknob.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I'm picking slight minor faults with it, but actually overall it's a really good movie.
Oh yeah, it is.
I mean, I think Linda Hamilton does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Sarah Connoring.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Because she does a great character arc, I think, from, and it's a big part of the movie, the fact that she is a waitress at the beginning, and by the end she is pretty awesome.
And especially when her waitress friend, when she's having a bad day and her other waitress friend says, "Don't worry, honey, in 100 years nobody's going to care."
I like that little one.
Yeah, which was good.
That was a good moment. In 100 years this whole place is going to be scorched earth.
And there was another one where it was her aunt's phone, and her aunt's phone was, "Hello? I tricked you, this is just a machine. But machines need love too." And she went to talk about that a little bit, and I was like, what is this?
That's interesting.
Is this some kind of foreshadowing that, the machines are... What?
Do the machines need love?
No, they don't. This film, you didn't know you were going to make a sequel where, spoiler alert, he's good.
That's a good point, yeah. Spoiler alert for the very beginning of Terminator.
Because it's 7 years later.
That's true. It's a big jump.
Yeah. Keep your mic still.
Yeah, it's a big jump to... Harry's telling me to keep my mic still again because I keep moving it. We need stands, Harry.
Yeah, I forgot to...
I always knew a guy called Mike Stand. Anyway, yes, I'm still doing it. Yeah, they didn't know they were going to do a sequel, and they did leave it 7 years, which if I'd been around at the time, I might have said, oh, that's too long. I might have said that's too long for a sequel.
Just because what you used to know.
But
sequels weren't as common
then. When did Terminator 3 come out? It was another 20 years. Another 10 years even, I think.
Could have been.
I think it was 2005-ish?
No, I think that was when Terminator 4 came out.
Was that Terminator 4? Wow. Okay, we'll have to look that one up. Hang on. I might even have it here. Let's see if I can find out.
Right, well, I'm going to race you by going on to IMDb, and this is going to be really good podcasting.
Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, was 2003, so it was 12 years later.
And then 2009 for Terminator Salvation.
And then Salvation was, 09. So, yeah, they didn't actually... It was 7 years, and then it was another 12.
12?
But Terminator 3 wasn't different enough from Terminator 2, really, but just less good.
Yeah, it was kind of trying to do the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, in Terminator 2, of course, we see a truck explode at the end and escaping through a factory.
Yeah.
But it just adds a little bit more. Instead of Kyle Reese, we've got a robot. Instead of a robot, we've got a liquid robot. Instead of Sarah Connor, we've got Sarah Connor and John Connor.
Everybody goes up a level.
Everyone goes up a level, and John Connor gets slotted in at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So, weird sort of synchronicity with the second one, which the third one just didn't have. It was weirdly 2 was more of the same but good, and 3 was more of the same but bad. Yeah, like I've said before, sci-fi universes clearly lend themselves to, hey, we've got an idea for a sequel.
Yeah.
Which turns out to be pants that you shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And make your own sequel.
Yes.
You know, please, Aliens. Look, Aliens was great. 3 was questionable, even though Bishop was in it a lot more, because I like Bishop.
3.
But
so
3 was the one where the alien was a dog. 4 was the one...
I need to watch these again. These are ridiculous.
4 was the one that was written by Joss Whedon and was terrible, even though Joss Whedon's amazing.
Oh, wait,
and it had Ron Perlman in it.
So 3 was the one where there was an alien in her.
Yes, and she kills herself.
And she dies at the end.
Spoilers for Alien.
Yeah, and then 4 was when they cloned her from when her DNA contained the alien DNA as well.
And for some reason, she is now super strong and fast.
Well, because she was the first.
Because she's part alien.
She was the first mostly human alien. And you saw, and at one point you saw all the clones, which were just all abominations of mixtures of her and an alien.
Right, yeah, that was real bad.
Awful, and then it concluded with essentially a human alien. It was like an alien with pale white skin.
Yep.
Sigourney Weaver skin.
And yeah, that was
she had like sort of motherly instincts towards, and it had like parental instincts as well.
Yeah, that was real awful, that one. And then we had, of course, Alien vs. Predator.
Then it got sucked out a bullet hole in a window.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Then we had Alien vs. Predator, both of which were awful. And then we've got...
I count them as something different because no matter what...
Yeah, they're a joke.
No matter what you do, you can't really join the Alien and Predator universes.
They are basically just celebrity deathmatch, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yes. But then Prometheus. Oh, it's a prequel to Alien now.
I liked Prometheus. I thought that was good.
Is it? Why? No.
I mean, if it wasn't a prequel to Alien, if it didn't have that little bit at the end where it was an alien...
It was still an awful movie.
That would have been fine. No, it wasn't. It was good.
And it didn't have just the bit at the end. It had the egg pods and everything.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it had the egg pods in it.
No, it wouldn't have, because that's where the aliens come from.
Oh, no, that's right. It had something else. It had something similar.
It had like a giant face hugger.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It had a giant face hugger. But and then at the end, it's got the Promethean merging with the big weird planty thing to give birth to a thing that looks a bit like an alien. And the aliens were military weapons that the Prometheans had tried to build. And you're ruining the previous movies. Just leave it alone.
It was the classic sort of prequel for prequel's sake. Like, there's no need for it.
Yeah, exactly. Just make a movie separately that... also, I mean... Prometheus would have been bad not connected to Alien, but it was worse when it was connected to Alien, and Ridley Scott jumped way off the deep end after that. Mm-hmm. Around that time.
No, because I think Ridley Scott's next movie was The Martian.
But Ridley Scott also made Robin Hood, one of the most atrocious abominations of a film of all time.
Has there been a good Robin Hood?
There have been several good Robin Hoods.
Was the Kevin Costner one good?
Kevin Costner one was great. The Carrie Elwes comedy was great.
That doesn't sound good.
The Errol Flynn was great.
Sure.
Like, that's going way back. At one point, he beats a guy up using an elk carcass.
Shall we have a marathon?
watch all the Robin Hoods.
Yeah.
I will not watch Ridley Scott's again.
Aww.
But when I went to see The Martian, I was very happy to find that Ridley Scott wasn't bad anymore.
I just don't think Ridley Scott had much of an impact on that film, because apparently it was extremely similar to the book, including
really?
most of the dialogue.
Oh, well, maybe then.
So I think
what was his other thing recently that Ridley Scott did? Didn't he do Gods of Egypt or some rubbish?
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
He did some fantasy epic type thing that was apparently awful.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott. And now, of course, he's making 19 Alien sequels or something. And James Cameron's making 50 Avatars. And, just...
Avatar could work.
It could work, but it's been too long.
Cameron's trying to do glassesless 3D. And if you can do that, and if that proves itself to be a thing, then he's done it.
Yeah, maybe.
And he may have a second hit.
I think
the third, fourth, and fifth that he's got planned.
Probably not. Yeah, I think James Cameron
unless he can make Saul care about Avatar again.
That's true. I think he's more of a technician than anything else. Titanic was one of the biggest things ever filmed.
Mm-hmm.
What was James Cameron's role on Alien? He was connected in some way, I think, to Alien. I can't remember.
I think he was a
doing.
producer, but I'm not too sure.
Sounds about right. But in Terminator, he pioneered a whole load of cool stuff in Terminator in terms of visual effects and puppetry and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Titanic obviously had the epicness. Avatar had the 3D thing coming in well for the first time. James Cameron has been pretty cutting edge technologically, and the top 2 grossing films of all time are his. So well done, James. But for God's sake, don't make more Avatar movies. It's not going to work.
Well, maybe
move on to something new.
Maybe he could be the director to prove that sequels have a place.
Sequels do have a place. Sometimes.
Not
as Terminator 2 has proved.
Well, yeah,
which I will talk about gushingly about how brilliant it is in the next episode.
Have we got much more to talk about with Terminator?
I think I've mentioned all the hilarious errors that I spotted in it.
Yeah, I always enjoy that.
I
even if it's a really good film, which this is.
Yeah, they were just a couple of small little gaffes.
Whereas it's not as fun if it's a bad film, I find.
Yeah, if it's a bad film, it's
then you can just complain about all the plot holes.
Yeah,
exactly. Rather than complain about the continuity issues. Because then continuity issues become, and then...
Yeah, exactly. If the only problem in a film is that you catch the sight of a stuntman's head at one point, then brilliant.
It's done pretty well.
If you're complaining about the plot, because then of course you're never going to notice the stuntman's head being wrong because you've noticed that the plot is stupid.
Yeah.
Terminator's plot is basically brilliant.
Yeah.
And so if I want to make a funny complaint, I have to pick the minor point. That's the kind of thing that wouldn't happen as much in modern movies because you'd CGI Michael Baine's face onto that guy's face.
Which is fine.
Which is fine, as long as you don't notice it.
Yeah, which in the end of Iron Man 3, it's seamless.
Is that CGIing Robert Downey Jr.'s head
onto it?
Oh, someone else's body, because he throws the thing in the sea and it's not Robert Downey Jr. on that bit.
For some reason.
Maybe
they couldn't afford him. Maybe they ran out of budget.
We ran out of money for Robert Downey Jr. That's our Robert Downey Jr. budget gone. Do you think we could lure him back with some blueberries? No, he's far too far away.
Yeah. That'll cost you $500,000 per blueberry.
Yes, Robert Downey Jr. is an expensive man.
Yes, he is.
I don't even quite understand why. I mean, he's amazing, but he's not that much better than everyone else in Marvel. And Marvel is what catapulted him to superstardom, I think.
Yeah.
How much did they pay him for Iron Man? Anyway, we've talked about Robert Downey Jr.'s paycheck a few times.
I think it was £100,000.
See, that's next to nothing.
Yeah, he was not the highest paid actor.
Yeah.
In that film.
No, of course not. He was. Wasn't he paid less than Rhodey?
Terrence Howard, yeah. Terrence Howard, he was not a big actor.
Yeah. And then, of course, now he earns 12 times what everyone else in the movie makes put together or something.
He earns double what everybody else in the movie makes put together. And that's cast and crew. Cast and crew for the next 2 Avengers films get $100 million each. Sorry, for each film.
Yeah.
And then Robert Downey Jr. gets $100 million per film.
Brilliant.
He will be very close to $500 million from Marvel when he finishes the next.
He is the highest paid actor in movies ever, isn't he now?
Oh yeah.
Not just at the moment, but ever, because every year the highest paid actor is higher paid than the previous year's highest paid actor, because that's how inflation works.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a fact out there. Let us know, listeners, if you know which actor got paid the most correcting for inflation for one movie. If it's still Robert Downey Jr., I wouldn't be that surprised. But
I reckon it will be by Avengers.
Oh, what's his face? Orson Welles. Didn't he get paid a bomb for stuff? No,
maybe.
Hang on. Superman. Who was Superman's dad? Marlon Brando. He got paid so much for Superman that he might not have got paid the most of any actor ever, but he got paid the most of any actor per minute of screen time for a movie.
Yeah.
Because he was only in it for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But he earned the equivalent of a few million, I think, for that. And apparently he refused to learn his lines and thought Superman was stupid.
Apparently there was one point where he was looking down at the baby of Superman, and the lines were just on top of the baby, and he was just reading the lines.
Yeah, people say this guy is the best actor ever. I really question that.
Yeah, like he does not care.
How do you get that role when you say you refuse to learn? How do you get to be the best actor ever if you never learn your lines?
Yeah.
Like, it makes me much more in the moment. You know what else would make you in the moment? Learning your lines and also acting.
Yeah.
Like, you want to look like you're just delivering it off the cuff, then learn your lines and then act like you're delivering it off the cuff, because that's how acting works. Robert Downey Jr. isn't really Iron Man, but he can act like he is Iron Man and learn the lines.
So much so that people sometimes call him Tony in interviews. I love it.
That's true.
Oh, it is.
That's
great.
Brilliant. He has embodied that character like crazy. You know what
yeah.
You know what I would actually kind of like to see now? I would be okay with a third Sherlock Holmes movie.
I think that they're working on it, but
that would be fun.
I reckon there's a lot of work to do because, like, how do you do it? You got to make it compete with the TV show, compete with all the other movies, and
you got to make it compete with that American version, which has Lucy Lewis-Watson.
Yeah,
which I understand is awful.
And you've either got to find a new director or make Guy Ritchie good again.
Yeah, he's jumped the shark a bit, hasn't he? Yeah.
We should do some Guy Ritchie stuff.
I like Guy Ritchie. Yeah. He's Lock, Stock and whatnot, isn't
he? Yeah. Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I quite liked, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've not seen that one. Starring Superman.
So anyway, Terminator. That was good, wasn't it?
We circled around a little bit there. Yes, Terminator. Let us know who the 3 actors in Terminator who are also in Aliens are.
Yeah, tweet us at Beer Pizza Movie.
And email us at something.
beerpizzaandamovie@gmail.com.
That's the badger.
Don't bother emailing. Nobody uses email.
Nobody uses email.
Just fit it into 140 characters.
Yeah. Send us a pigeon. Yeah, you know, one of the ones with a tiny capsule with like a really long piece of paper rolled up in it. Because those look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of World War I kind of thing. Oh, send us a raven. It's much more Game of Thrones. We'll have to do a Game of Thrones episode at one point. What?
We're not talking about Game of Thrones.
I know, but I like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So send a raven telling us who those 3 actors were.
Yep.
All right. Terminator 2 next time, Harry. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, Terminator 2.
All right.
Cool. All right, see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.